Hello and welcome back. This is live coverage of round 4 of Norway chess. I'm Lawrence Trent, he's Jan Gustafsson. All games are still in play. And, well, we've had some developments. Let's go to Aronian Svidler. And it's interesting. There's a lot of, you know, toing and throwing and not much going on. A few queen maneuvers, not much happening. And then Svidler managed to get
Svidler got tired of moving around and he forced this rook ending a pawn down, but 3 against 2 is a draw at this level. Interesting, the next move, good technique by Aronian, because if he went rook takes e4 here, Svidler would play h5, which is always the setup you want when it is just a draw. In order to make progress for white, he has to exchange pawns, let's say with f3, g4, and Svidler would just chop off all the pawns that come his way, and it would end in a draw. So Aronian does go for the move g4. Doesn't change the assessment of the position. Can we back up one move? After g4, he refuses to take, but he makes h5 a bit harder to get in. Now it could be met by g5 or by gh. Well, there would be a draw as well, but creating a weakness on h5. So he didn't even bother to take the pawn, and Svidler defends it with rook to c4. White can still win it with a timely king g3. Maybe it's not so easy to win it, actually.
Actually, I don't think he can win it.
Because king f6, let's say, king f4, there's always rook a2. And you gotta cover your rook c2, sorry. You gotta cover your own weakness on f2. So not much going on. Rook c4, probably Svidler now he won't even have to play a pawn down. And I'm expecting a draw very, very quickly. Speaking of expecting a draw, I'm not sure I was speaking of Topalov Carlsen, but here we're also expecting a draw. Simon Actestein has to be a little bit precise still. Maybe now his b2 pawn is under attack, and he could go for the move b4 when he has to think about queen a1 check, which should still be a draw because you have queen c1 defending everything. But you would have to be a little careful not to end up in a situation where the pawns are fixed on the wrong square, so to say, on the queen side, like here. But this is still very much a draw. Just bring the king, king f1, king e2, king d3. There's nothing bad that can happen to you, really. Bishop e3, a6, bishop d4, for example, even to neutralize that guy.
That's really the way. That's the way to do it. Bishop d4.
Yeah.
No,
No, this will be a draw. Bishop f8, you go wherever.
And we have had a draw. Amazingly, you said he's not going to do this year, and you would have bet your house on it. We've had a draw in Topalov Carlsen.
He did go for the move repetition. Shows the respect Topalov has for Magnus Carlsen, but I am still surprised. He really had a nice position with lots of compensation for the pawn.
Wasn't clear though. Wasn't clear how to.
No, but the move you mentioned, h3 for example, or a move like rook d1, keeping the tension, very hard for Carlsen to unravel his pieces. Instead, Topalov, decided to chase the rook. And it had nowhere else to go. Let's have a look at his h3. Move that comes to mind is a4, probably just pushing the pawn as far as you can. And I don't know, queen a3 maybe? It is not clear. Now you can go bishop d7, bishop takes, rook takes, and you're defending all your weaknesses. It is not easy, so that makes it a bit more understandable. Now bishop takes d7 can't be right. Maybe queen a3 was wrong already, because you want to have this option of going bishop c4. If we go bishop c4 here, let's try some stuff. Now queen a3.
Yeah, this is probably a bit better. Yeah, compensation. Right?
There is compensation, but I agree. It's not like winning for white or anything.
Nothing like that.
As said, Topalov, hasn't had a great tournament so far. He lost his game to Grishuk. Probably didn't mind a draw here all that much, or this. Well, he certainly didn't mind since he did go for it. Little surprising, and still it's nothing to worry about too much for Carlsen fans, but it is a subplot that Carlsen has not managed to win a game yet. Had a slow start last year as well, and then couldn't catch Sergei Karyakin anymore. This time Fabiano Caruana is the one with a quick start, some 2.5 out of 3. And Anish Giri just pushed g5 against him.
Wow. Well, I say wow, it's a very typical move, isn't it? That said, it is committal. As soon as you move a pawn forward, you can never take it back.
Pawns never move back.
I thought I was out, and then they pull me back in.
Do you think The Godfather 3 is a good movie?
No.
Neither do I. I think it's a good movie in its own right. The quote you just came up with is from The Godfather 3. It's just a bad movie if you compare it to The Godfather 1 and 2.
It's a very good movie if you compare it to films like Gravity, for example.
For example, yeah.
Which?
It's a very good movie if you compare it to a lot of films, but especially compared to Gravity, it would be the best movie of all times, right?
Talking about Gravity.
It's a clever transition to our next segment.
I don't know if we can get a close-up on
I don't think if we want a close-up.
This here, I don't want it reflecting. This here, ladies and gentlemen. There we go.
Is this the price?
This, ladies and gentlemen, for the lucky winner of today's prediction quiz, will receive this version of a Blu-ray ultraviolet Gravity DVD, which we will send out. We'll get your details, providing that, of course, you've got the predictions right.
Providing that you want the prize after you know what it is. Like, we would not blame you if you just turned it down.
Yeah.
The story about this, and I'm not sure he's going to be happy with it. Our friend Ian Robinson, who has tweeted us a lot during the show, big fan of Gravity, he sent us this Blu-ray to the office because we were trashing the movie earlier because it is a horrible movie and one of the worst movies to ever win
be made,
to ever be made, and then to win a lot of Oscars for Best Director. It's basically 2 hours of Sandra Bullock
not dying,
doing random things in space and having random
encounters with George Clooney.
Dialogues to herself. Okay, we don't want to spoil too much of the action, but there is no action. It's a terrible movie with some nice shots of space, and we congratulate you if you are the lucky winner, which will be announced later. And we apologize to Ian Robinson. We really appreciate him sending us this movie. We have sat through it again, which was as painful as the first viewing. And now we want to share the enjoyment of Sandra Bullock in space with our viewers. So you can win the 5-time Oscar-winning masterpiece by director Alfonso Cuarón. It's a horrible movie. We are sorry. We needed it out of the office. So congratulations.
It was actually creating bad feng shui.
Yeah, it's bad karma.
It's bad karma to have it in the office. We've had another result.
Let me guess, it's a draw.
It's a draw. Aronian versus Svidler. Nice little idea by Svidler in the end. Rook c4, king g3, and just h6. And the point is, if you come in with the king, you attack f2, and you have to repeat. Anyway, he played rook a3, but now g5 takes away the f4 square. Rook a7 check, king f6.
Yeah, 3 against 3 rook endings aren't that exciting on this level. They did agree a draw. Solid defensive job by Svidler. Aronian played a low risk but also low reward line where once in a while you might win a game, but most of them would end in draws. This rook takes b7 on the Grunfeld, which we've seen earlier. As usual, I'm 0 out of 2 so far with my predictions. Predicted an Aronian win and a Carlsen win.
I think I did as well. I think I'm 0 out of 2. Just dread. So far, you're on 0 out of 7 in the last.
I'm really on a roll.
I mean, it's quite special.
Yeah. And another thing, the game Aktestein Kramnik, where I predicted a black win.
I'm okay with that one.
This one, well, there might be still some hope, but it's also a very drawish position. I gotta say, Queen D7 is a good move
Just
now.
Queen D7.
He played Queen D8 check, chasing the king away from the F7 pawn. Queen takes b2, queen takes a7, and yeah. This will end in a draw as well. So that would be 0 out of 3.
What did you say for Kayakin?
What do I have to say?
You said that's a draw.
I said that's a
That's
draw.
not going to be
Grishuk is getting much better here, an exchange up.
Could still
Not
be
completely over. Kayakin has a pawn for the exchange. Played knight f3, intending knight e5. But I think just rook c8 here is a good move. Knight e5 doesn't do much damage. Bishop e8. And Grishuk's extra exchange and passer on the queen side, potential passer. I think they're bound to tell. He will go a5, b4, a2 is a target. The plan maybe to go a4, b3 at some point. I believe Sergei Kayakin in very serious trouble. He probably blundered this move. Can we show it what he missed earlier, or we think he missed this knight d3? Started here, bishop d4, bishop takes. He probably had to go queen takes d4, we think, when black is fine, but nothing too bad has happened. C takes d, c3. Can't have missed that. And rook takes c3, knight d3. This could be the one he maybe missed. And rook takes d3 forced, rook c1 check, and king e2. We have this ending with an extra exchange for Alexander Grishuk, the world number 3. Might be overtaken in this tournament by Fabiano Caruana, but he's certainly putting up a fight. He's on +1, won his last 2 games, might win today. Would be on +2, keeps showing great form. Craig Harrison is saying, few commiserations to the winner. Seems like he's not a Gravity fan either. We hope, Craig Harrison, you did not, or maybe you did participate, and maybe you got all the results right. We'll find out later. And we have to say, Ian Robinson, it's a great gesture, and he got us the Blu-ray, not just the DVD, the Blu-ray plus the ultraviolet digital copy. So it's really a luxury version of Gravity. If you have a nice home cinema, you can really enjoy Sandra Bullock clumsily traumatizing through space.
Dan Dolan says the 3D IMAX Gravity was impressive. The special effects were very well done. I'm not actually doubting the special effects. I think the special effects were
We don't argue that there were some nice images and great special effects. What I always dislike is they do this, whatever it costs, $150 million production, and they spend like 3 minutes on this story. Like they have a traumatized girl who should never ever be allowed in space doing a solo performance, doing random things. Like, why not have a writer?
Yeah, exactly. So, Dan Dolan, if you put your predictions in early enough in the day, if you're the lucky one, who knows? You might get it. You might have a little Christmas present, early Christmas present. So realistically, we might be in for the long haul. We're gonna need a lot of material for this Caruana Giri clash, and also we've got.
What happened there? He played g5. The knight went to h4 earlier. Knight f3, knight de7. Interesting. He could have gone e4, simplifying, which I was a bit expecting actually. Queen f6, forced, I think. Knight f6, de, knight e4. Could still be a little better for white. He has a d4 square for his knights. I'm not sure if immediately, or maybe rook d1 first. b7 is still a potential weakness. So maybe Anish Giri wasn't totally satisfied here, even though it's very much within the realms of equality. It's not like he has serious problems. But he wanted probably also to keep it more of a fight. Might be looking for blood after his loss against Kramnik as well. He went knight de7, maybe intending knight g6 to defend e5, overprotect e5, as concept we learned from Nimzovich, My System, a book I think is horribly overrated, by the way. But he wants to go knight g6, maybe think about g4, f4, create some attack, keep some chances, maybe put his bishop on d5. But it's a bit risky.
I like this one. I think it's okay. I don't know.
Maybe it is okay.
I quite like the idea of knight d2 to try and play f4.
Right. I'm with you on that one. Probably black would have to start eyeing the d3 pawn at some point, right? I'm not sure. Rook f d8. It's the drawback. You leave your queen on f6 unprotected for future f4 scenarios, but I think you want some play against that guy. Queen c3, now maybe rook d7 with your queen no longer having her sights on b7.
Yeah, it's all a bit slow, isn't it?
I don't know, still roughly equal, but a lot of play. And actually, I wouldn't expect this game to end in a draw.
Not yet.
No, certainly not yet. But in general, well, I'm always wrong, but I would expect this game to find a winner because I think it's quite unbalanced still.
Interesting. So, what would be the odds of you getting 3 rounds in a row, all results wrong? That would be really special.
Right. I think I have to start doing one of these do the opposites thing, you know? I mean, like, whatever I think is going to happen, I'll predict the opposite. And then they're probably going to all make the third result, and I'll still be wrong.
Thabang Billy, I apologise, sir. Unfortunately, we have limited the prize to those who entered before the break.
No, I think Thabang Billy, he knows that, and he wants to make sure he doesn't get gravity, so he only gets his predictions in now that he knows he's no longer eligible for the gravity punishment.
Clever man.
What is he predicting? Topalov Carlsen, draw, excellent prediction, because it's already over. Aktestein Kramnik, draw, very likely to happen. Karana Giri 1-0, very possible.
Let's go to Aktestein.
Right.
Kramnik, one little thing left. If Aktestein here takes the pawn off on a5, he's got to be careful of queen a1 check and queen e5 check, which would pick up.
I think he's going to spot that, but it is a cute little
just a little
resource.
You know, bluff the queen takes b2, get ready to sign the sheets.
And it's one of the things you might miss from afar. You know, you think, okay, bishop a5, he'll go queen a3, we'll shake hands.
Exactly.
Then all of a sudden, ooh. But there must be better moves for Simon Aktestein. Which ones, though? I'm starting to think of it now.
Also, queen c7.
I was thinking about queen c7 or queen a7.
But
queen c7.
Yeah. You're a horrible
queen a7
player.
just because you played the move. Queen a7, I was a bit curious about a4 maybe here. You can't take because if queen takes b6. Bishop c5. Now I have to come up with some trickery once again. Maybe I don't have any.
Probably
this could be the way to play.
But I'm not sure it is the way to play it.
What do you think is the way to play?
Let's see if I'm just coming back.
Just go back. You're not afraid of this a passer?
No. No, I'm not. Also, because I've got...
Well, I might go queen a1 check.
Okay.
King h2, a4. I think you might want to be afraid.
Maybe I will. Only I could lose this position. That's really sad.
No, I think many people could lose this position.
No, only I could lose this. No,
I don't think so.
I think I still draw. That's how sick I am.
a3. Maybe it still is a draw.
Of course it's a draw. And also, if I win your g-pawn...
Yeah, queen f6.
Queen f6?
Was that an evil laughter?
That was an Ace Ventura-esque laugh. I'm managing to botch this very well. That is talented to botch.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's that simple to hold. Queen a7, I like that move.
You don't want to go queen c7 then, yeah?
I want to do it, but now that you informed me about this deep
queen a7
tactic, and I was a bit intrigued by a4, but bishop c5, your move looks good enough to keep things together. Still, you know, queen b3, all of a sudden there is a little play, I think. Not a lot of play, but a little bit.
I think Aktestein, what did he do wrong then?
He didn't necessarily do anything wrong. Instead of bishop takes b6, you could argue about... I was going to say b3, but it leads to something similar. No, I don't think he did anything wrong. I think instead of queen e2 on move 25,
right,
he could have gone for a more forcing line with queen a8 or queen b7, you know, wrapping it up right there. And then after queen e2, g6, still not much happening. Also on move 27, he could have gone b4, which we covered, instead of queen d8 check. But it's basically a choice amongst different drawing lines, and he has to be precise and calculate them at some point. Kramnik will, of course, keep playing, having zero risk. But yeah, still expect this to be a draw, but there is some hope for my prediction of Kramnik actually winning this. I wouldn't rule it out. All these lines, you know, I think they look scary. a4, you might still be able to hold with his counterplay. f4, f5. Here bishop e5 is a good move. But I'm not sure. From afar, would you be comfortable going for this? Let my a-pawn roam? I don't know. I think there's some...
Well, here... what am I trying to say?
What are you trying to say?
Yeah, here I can draw, because I can just take and play bishop d6.
How do you draw this? Bishop b2?
g4.
a3? g5?
Oh,
You're
sugar.
gonna lose.
I was going to play h4 expecting you to take, but
You're not going
to take it off, right?
You're
No,
gonna play a2.
I tell you, I'm a special guy. No, it takes an extra.
Yeah, sure.
No, I'm a special guy to lose this. I really am. There's something quite pathetic about it. No, you're right. It's never easy.
Right. Rob Brown, in the meantime, points out correctly, Jan is a reverse barometer of chess predictions. If you're a betting man, I think the sponsor of the tournament, Unibet, offers you to allow to bet on the games on their site. You can take my suggestions and bet the opposite, and you will have basically a free roll.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the other day I asked you what your most favourite or your most special games were in your life. What do you think of notable games that stand out?
I don't know, let's not go there. All these guys in the tournament have a lot more notable games than I have ever played.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough, we'll leave it at that.
What's your notables?
Got lots.
It's too many to mention.
Too many to mention. He played bishop c7, which was this.
It's
line.
fine, but it does trade the a-pawn for the f-pawn, so I still think you have to be at least a little careful after queen a3, queen f7. I don't know, queen a1 check, queen c5, one of these moves.
Probably queen a1 check.
I'm not sure, queen c5 is something going for it as well.
But here we stop bishop e5.
Yeah, but here there's f4, well, queen c5 pins it for the moment.
Queen f7.
Yeah, a line like that, and now you keep the queens, queen d7 or queen d5, or queen d7.
If you go a3, you've got
bishop e5, queen a7, and this will be a draw. Now you got the pawn under control. No, certainly it's still possible to draw this, but I think Seaman made it a bit more exciting than he needed to. And Kramnik will no doubt look for chances here.
Wow. Interesting. All right. What else is going on? Still waiting for Grishuk.
Karyakin Grishuk. Grishuk, as usual, taking his time. Let's go to chess24.com and check briefly what their times are. Of course, in our live tool you get engine evaluation, move times. You can make your own moves on the board, whatever fancies your attention there is. Well, our beautiful faces commentating, but you have a lot of stuff to look at the games even without us. And of course we're trying to bring you all the main tournaments on chess24.com. That's the end of my plugging speech, but check it out. And I wanted to check out how much time Grishuk had. For his standards, he has a lot of time. He has 31 minutes. He played f6 after knight f3. And yeah, stopping this 95 idea for good, just so he doesn't have to worry about it. I don't know. I think he's better. I don't think it's straightforward to win this position. Karyakin could think about a move like knight e1, kind of keeping that rook locked up in the corner for the moment, and then following with bishop d3. Like Rishuk has to be better. Seriously.
I'm surprised he went b5, actually, if I'm honest. I'm surprised.
Oh yeah, we haven't addressed that.
Why didn't he go b6? Because that feels like it just allows black to... Well, doesn't feel as loose. You don't concede the c5 square for the knight.
Right. Well, his thinking must be that he wants to win the game by pushing his pawns on the queen side, so might as well start with b5, right? But I do agree with you. b6 feels more collected somehow than rook c8, and you're not giving away that many squares, or you're not giving the b5 pawn as a target, like in the game knight f3, f6. I like the move knight e1, shutting out this rook for the moment. Black still has to be better. Let's just go a5. I want to go b4, rook b8, a4, and make something happen.
Make a new queen.
Make a new queen, basically. We'll see.
There's no monarchy in Germany, is there?
There is no monarchy. We don't have a queen. We're very envious of your queen, the Dutch queen, the Norwegian.
Aren't they all German
all the
anyway?
monarchies.
All the monarchies are German, aren't they?
Are
Queen Elizabeth she's got German roots.
I'm not a scholar of
I think so.
monarchies.
Almost
Should
certain.
be.
Yeah, you used to have a king, didn't you?
I have no idea. When did we ever have a king?
A while ago, right? Back
It's
in the
been a
days.
while,
Yeah. Everybody had a king at one time.
Can't remember. During my lifetime, I can't recall any kings.
Interesting. No kings in Germany. There's a king in Norway, though.
Magnus Carlsen?
No, Harold or something, isn't it?
Ah, Harold.
Actually,
There is Prince Haakon and Mette Marit.
who is the king of Norway? There's a little trivia question. Harold, I was right.
I think you're right, yeah.
I didn't just magic that out of.
Harald V.
Harold V, named after Harold IV, and he actually came to the throne in, I think it was around 1991, although I can't be sure.
German name too, Harald.
I'm telling you, we're all Germans.
Oh, and yeah, it says he's a member of the House of Schleswig-Holstein, Sonderburg, Glücksburg, a house originally from northern Germany.
Right.
Exciting.
I don't know. The House of Glücksburg is the Prince of it. It was maybe we don't belong to them. Who knows?
What are you talking about?
Anyway,
your king family is related.
I've got all this king fever now that I'm so enthralled with Game of Thrones.
Pick up some Gala magazine.
Just out of interest, no spoilers, but we'll
No
just say
spoilers
that last episode of Game of Thrones was just
heartbreak, right?
It was heartbreak, but also it was absolutely brilliant how it ended.
It is a good show.
Wasn't it
It's a really,
fantastic?
really good show.
It's actually quite graphic for all of you younger guys watching. Tweets, let's hear what you got to say. Switzerland never had a king, according to Felix Kramer. Right.
It's probably from Switzerland.
Right.
That's why would you know? Bring it up, right?
I don't know why you would.
It's interesting.
Thank you, Felix Kramer. Have we had any moves?
Has Germany had a king? I should know stuff like that. I'm sure they had.
Must have had a king at some point. I don't know. Tweet us. When was the last German king? Probably somebody called Friedrich.
I don't know. Speaking of, The Last King of Scotland. It's an excellent movie.
Good movie, yep.
Who was the last king of Scotland? Does Scotland have a king? It's unlikely, right?
Well, the Queen
Yeah,
rules
it's
over,
unlikely.
you know,
Did they have a king? Was there?
King Robert.
I really never paid any attention in history class. King Robert Baratheon, he's the last king of Scotland.
Yeah, he might be. No, we have the Queen. She rules over. She rules over all. Rule Britannia, or the whole of. Yeah. Anyway, you get my drift. Sorry for being not. We're not really We're not really scholars.
We're not really educated.
We're not.
Ask us about movies, but no real
I
stuff.
think the House of Stuart might have been the last.
The Stuarts
one.
of Lennox.
The Stuarts of.
That's
Indeed.
what it said there.
Well, it might be. The Stuarts of Lennox. Thank you for your information, people.
Thank
Fabiana
you,
Caruana has
Wikipedia.
moved a rook 1 square.
Rook CD1, a bit of a mysterious move, right? What does he want?
I think he wants to keep the rook on f1
For his
for
f4 ideas. But why rook cd1? Does he want to overprotect the d3 pawn?
Well, it wasn't protected in the first place, so I don't think
That's
protecting...
not attacked either.
Yeah, but I don't think protecting it once is overprotecting something.
I think it is if it's not attacked. You're
Really?
protecting it once more than you need to.
Let me ask you a question.
What's your question?
You know, in your house, in
Right,
either here or in, let's say Hamburg, because it rains more.
right,
Outside, you have a patio sometimes,
right.
a wooden patio.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with wooden patios, as you very well know,
Mm-hmm.
you have to put a layer of what's it called? The name. Basically, it's a
idea
kind of
where you're going
sealant, so
with
it
this.
doesn't get ruined. So the wood doesn't get ruined.
I had no idea. I had a wooden patio in Hamburg and the
Yeah,
rain
you
was
have
getting
to.
to it. You know?
The rain got to it, right? But if you had covered it first,
Right.
yeah. Now that's overprotecting something that in that moment wasn't being attacked by the
Right.
rain.
Well, you would protect it if the rain came and you would put it there then.
No,
So-
you have to do it before the rain comes.
I know, but that's overprotecting. Well, protecting would be the rain comes and then you put it there, right?
Right, but
Protect
then
it from the
then it all falls apart. The wooden patio,
That
you
is a
don't
problem.
have you don't have a place to hang out in
patio.
so you don't have a place to hang out in the summer. So basically, rook cd1 is the same as garnishing your wooden patios with
Before the rain comes.
before the rain comes.
It's harder to do in Hamburg because it's always raining, so you need to find a small window where it's not raining to
You've got about
overprotect
20
your
minutes
wooden
to find
patio.
it. It does rain a lot in Hamburg, doesn't it?
It does rain a lot. Sun is shining a lot in Gibraltar,
Does,
where we
yeah.
are at the moment. It's really warm outside. We're expecting Lawrence Trent to be the most tanned Brit within very little time.
I'm hoping so. But I never get out. I'm always here, you know, talking about these games.
And you love it.
I do love it. I wouldn't do. This is as one of my old bosses used to say to me, this is the life we chose. And then every time he said that, I thought, I didn't really choose this. I mean, I've sort of been
choice.
coerced into this and lied to and so on. But anyway,
I'm a big student of the limbic system. We don't really choose all that much. We're just driven by our urges to...
limbic.
Maybe it's a German term, das limbische System. I think it's probably
The limbic system. Wow, okay. I'll take your word.
Basically,
Oh my goodness.
we're just spectators with a little influence, but it's not like we choose the life.
Wow.
Anyway, it might be slightly off topic.
No, I think it's right. Do you think who has... So we all have a limbic system.
I think so. I think the core base of the theory is that most of your behavior is because you either want to dominate, you want balance, or you want stimulation. And all these urges are pushing us to do things which we later justify. We did this because of this, that, you know. Could be interesting if it's the same in chess.
If you had to choose a system according to Kramnik or a system according to Limbic, who would you choose?
I don't think Limbic is a guy.
No, I understand. That was a joke.
Ah, okay.
Because he did this a system, or was it a repertoire according to Kramnik? A white repertoire?
Opening for White according to Kramnik, yeah. I
Well,
did
you know.
read these books. They were pretty good.
They were good. Actually, they were fantastic books. No moves as of yet. Let's see some tweets. The Twitter sphere. Deck sealant. That's the one I was looking for. Deck sealant. Thank you, Dan Dolan. He knows what I'm talking about. Seal them.
Deck sealant. How to
Yeah, you
seal
seal
your
it
patio.
first, so that when it and then you have to put another layer on. You do like more than one layer. Bit like girls and their nail polish. I actually spoke about this last night, very strangely. You put an undercoat on.
I'm not going to ask whom you spoke this about.
Actually, I better not go into that. But
Alright.
anyway, I was speaking, and you have to put 2 coats on. If you don't do
Interesting.
that, it gets chipped away. So everything is related to overprotection.
That is very useful knowledge for the Miss Strategy, Miss Tactics video we have in the planning,
Absolutely.
right? Where we will need nail polish and all kinds of other devices.
Goodness
like
me.
the wigs we have lying around in the studio.
Wow.
We'll get into that another time. Meantime, the history lesson is in full swing. Claudio Mendicute is pointing out the Habsburgs were at one point the royal family of Germany and Spain.
Wow. There you go. The King of Thailand, according to Better Blinks, is the richest king in the world, worth an estimated $30 billion.
Right, King Bhumibol, well beloved.
Is he?
Yeah, he's very, very, very loved in Thailand.
I think I'd be very loved if I had 30 billion in the bank as well. I think even you'd love me. I think you'd love me.
Probably, yeah. I'm not sure about 25 billion, but 30 might be my breaking point.
If you are watching King Bhumibol or Thailand, please get in touch. We would happily plaster your name all over the website for a mere investment of, $50 million.
He's a big musician. I'm not sure
Is
he's
he?
into chess. He's a famous musician,
Wow.
played with a lot of the jazz greats.
Wow.
What else is going on?
Guillermo II was the last German king. He sounds like the
doesn't
guy I
sound like
met
a
last
German
night
name.
on the beach.
Guillermo II?
Yeah, he was probably, I don't know, Guillermo II? Maybe
Isn't
William.
Guillermo the
Wilhelm.
Yeah,
the
I think
second.
it's Wilhelm der Zweite.
Yeah.
Guillermo is the assistant of Jimmy Kimmel. You watched that show?
I'm not a Jimmy Kimmel watcher, no. I do know who he is, but I haven't watched his show at all.
Anyway, Guillermo is a small Mexican guy. He's really good. He has some videos where he goes after Matt Damon. I love Guillermo at the Jimmy Kimmel show.
Wow.
I'm not that familiar with the German kings, I gotta admit that. That's what you get for, studying chess while you're in history class. You know all these useless chess openings, but you don't know the German kings.
Who's that,
Wilhelm
Mr.
der Zweite.
Producer?
I think that's Wilhelm der Zweite, Guillermo II, William II.
William II, they're on your screens. He had a fantastic moustache. That is
He had a well-groomed moustache.
There's something to say about a man with a good moustache.
Speaking about facial hair, it looks like you got a little trimming compared to
Yeah.
yesterday, right?
I can't keep on. I'm a bit like a goat, so I need a shearing from time to time. Otherwise, it just gets out of
As
control.
you know, the more facial hair you have, the better I think the show is. But we'll try. It will grow back.
It will, in about 2 days as well. So there you go. Kramnik's still thinking after Bishop C7. Probably
What's
coming.
he thinking about?
Well, he's probably coming to terms with the fact that
I think he's going to take on A3.
he is.
And
gonna.
after Queen F7, he's going to go Queen C5. I like that move. And then he's going to plan to go A4, A3. And I'm not sure how easy of a draw this is for Seaman Akhterstein, I'll be honest. I'd be concerned, Seaman Akhterstein fans. Because black has a very easy plan and white has to be very precise here to get counterplay.
Wow, if he lost that would be really heartbreaking.
Could very well happen.
That would be really heartbreaking.
Anyway, the one resource, I think white has to try to get in this f4 and bishop e5 at the moment. f2 is pinned, so he could think about king h2 probably. a4, f4, and he might be in time. a3, bishop e5. And then after queen f8, queen a7, I think that's the line we've shown, and it would still be a draw.
So
But
here you'd have to go.
You'd have to
F8.
come up with something. Queen f8 here, maybe. Queen d7, it's probably still in time, right? Queen d7, a3, bishop e5.
Yeah, and you're
And
still.
a2, queen a7.
Well, yeah.
No, it should still be holding, but Seaman has to be precise here if Kramnik decides to go for this, which I would expect him to.
Incredible. Still shows him how much of a class player he is to be able to magic something like this up.
It's also, the class of the
I
very
mean, how
best.
can you magic something like this up just from what looks like a...
They just keep trying to play the best moves and pose tiny problems, even these symmetrical positions. And all these guys are world-class grinders, especially shows against guys slightly weaker. But Magnus Carlsen, he's been grinding equal positions against pretty much everybody in the world, right? But in this tournament, not a win for Magnus Carlsen yet. Fabiano Caruana, if he wins today, 3.5 out of 4, that would be a very serious lead already against Magnus Carlsen, especially. Alexander Grishuk, very good chances to win, to move into 3 out of 4. A lot of intrigue going on, and it does not look at all like this will be a walk in the park for the local hero. Queen g7 has been played by Anish. I'm not sure. Queen g7, it feels slightly unnatural because you're kind of cramping your own king, doesn't it? the idea, I believe, is that to have the queen defended after a potential e4 that then you can take back on g7 with the king. But it feels like a little bit claustrophobic around the black king now, with the bishop on g8, queen on g7. Fabiano Caruana could just play a move like knight d2 to take this e4 with tempo out of the equation.
Knight d2, yeah.
Not sure about that move, but it could be an option. And probably Anish's point isn't that after knight d2 he wants to go rook f d8, and f4 stuff doesn't bother him that much anymore because of e takes f4 whenever needed. d3 also hanging. It's once again a complicated shadow boxing match somehow, you know? A bit like Anish had yesterday against Vladimir Kramnik, that didn't go well. And today we'll see what happens. Many moves come to mind for white. I'm still intrigued by this rook cd1 move. Like, wouldn't you want this rook on b1 really, and the other rook on d1?
Yeah.
I understand maybe he's thinking about knight d2 f4 or knight e1 f4. It just seems like it's a bit of a lower priority to put the rook on d1 when it's not needed there yet. I think these guys, they will keep testing the waters for the next couple of moves, but this could very much heat up in time travel. They're only on move 21, which I think Fabiano Caruana, if we can trust the clocks, he only has 14 minutes left here on move 21. Not a lot of time. Also, definitely a factor. And could be smart over the board play by Anish, not to force the issue, but you know, just keeps making non-committal moves, both a lot of options for both sides. We'll see what happens there. Grishuk, he has pushed a5.
And rook c3.
Rook c3, and I guess after rook c8, his idea is rook c5, right?
Right.
Because then taking dc5 would really improve white's structure.
You can't take.
And if you can't take, at the very least, this rook has found a way to activate quite a lot. c5, it also shows some horizontal and vertical reach, looking at b5, a5, as well as potential on the c file. I know, looks like Grishuk still has to be better, but it looks like he's complicating his task a little bit.
I didn't
here.
like b5. I have to say, I think he should have just stayed at home with b6.
And slowly.
And then it's very difficult for white to enter, and then rook c8, and you know.
Yeah, no, at some point he has to push, but he could maybe
Knight
have
f3,
improved a
rook
little bit
c8
first,
here.
bring the king to the center or whatnot.
Bishop d3, you can always swing round the back.
Yeah, no, I think
Or here.
Kayakin should go knight e1 no matter what, in order to not let this rook out of his misery.
But now my bishop's got a...
Oh yeah, that's another point in favor of b6. Maybe this is a nuisance.
Yeah, and if you go rook b4, I've got
b5 and a5,
A5.
rook f1. Yeah, there's...
Yeah, no, I think this
nice,
is
yeah.
correct. I think this is correct. We have got a really interesting tweet here from RW.
What's he telling us?
He's one of our most
Of our most witty tweeters.
witty and regular tweeters. Thank you, RW. RW says, do you think Branson's recent lauding of Kasparov indicates a channel for sound Western chess funding in the future? Now, I don't know if you saw this. You know.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Right, let me show you. I think it only happened yesterday. Richard Branson, who is the multi-billionaire, he's the owner of Virgin, everything Virgin related, Virgin Records, Virgin Airs,
empire.
and so on. It's genuinely an empire. Actually personally tweeted Kasparov yesterday, and obviously got a huge reach, Branson, saying how Kasparov's efforts to introduce chess into the education system is fantastic, how great chess is as a game, as an educational tool, and for Kasparov for president of FIDE. Now, this is not just from some guy, this is from a guy who controls, who's got a huge reach in terms of sponsorship and all kinds of other things. So you can imagine if Kasparov were to become FIDE president, Virgin, why wouldn't they sponsor something if Richard Branson has personally as RW uses the word lauded, as personally backed Kasparov in his efforts, wouldn't it be great to have a massive company like Virgin sponsor? They do everything from broadband, internet, phones, fly. I mean, he genuinely has got about 50 companies, and he has his own island in the Pacific.
Nice.
He bought an island, I think.
Yeah.
You know, when you have that much money.
Who's interested in chess sponsoring, it can only do the game good, of course, yeah. Great to see him excited about chess.
His net worth, he's only worth $5 billion, so, you know, he's not, I mean, he could do a lot better. I mean, he's slipping up. He needs to pull his finger out, really, and get working, right? Otherwise, he'd have as much money as you.
Yeah. Still a decent start.
No, he's done
Can
very well.
afford a small island.
I think it's great, actually, for chess to get a quote like that. In the meantime, we have had this exact position, Jan, in the Ajestein-Kramnik game.
He played king h2 as well, a4. I think he's going to go f4 here.
I think you have to go f4.
Yeah, I think it's forced, because if you allow a3, then really all of a sudden it could get very tricky. One idea I was curious about after f4 is if black could go queen to a7. I'm guessing the problem is f5, and I haven't achieved all that much. Yeah, now my king is too open. I would have to take, and probably black will.
Well, he's played f4. He's played f4.
He has been very resilient, or very strong, basically. And I think now that he discovered this, he will hold the game as well.
I think he will as well. In the Caruana game, very quickly, he did play knight d2 and bishop d5.
Bishop d5?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. One drawback to this could be that in all these lines where white goes d4, black would normally play e4, shutting in the bishop on g2. So I'm curious if now is the time for white to take on d5 and go d4. Which, maybe it's not. Maybe black can just take on d4 and be happy. Because here, e4 now I'm not so sure about anymore, because the bishop, there's no more bishop to lock up on g2, but e takes d4.
And if e d4,
well, maybe even f4, or put a rook on e8, and yeah, no, I think black is fine there. Feels like a very good martial position where you're not even a pawn down. Yeah, I think this...
PB Gumby says, maybe Branson makes a good point, but are we getting excited about a self-publicist? I don't want to get overexcited about these things, but it's a pretty big deal that Branson obviously promotes Kasparov, or not promotes Kasparov, but lauds Kasparov personally. I think it's a relatively big deal for chess, and it's about who you know, not what you know. So if they can forge some sort of partner, who knows? Lawrence, are you sitting there in your boxer shorts? No, I'm just wearing shorts. It's sunny in Spain, you know, it's 30 degrees out there, and it gets hot in the studio with all the lights, so I wear shorts on occasions, and when I'm in Hamburg I wear jackets.
We're not in Spain, by the way. Gibraltar, part of the United Kingdom.
I'm going to get absolutely crucified for that. I just assumed we were in Spain because it's so warm and lovely. Of course, I know all about Gibraltar, and it's it's an overseas territory, British overseas territory. I think I've said that correctly.
I think, yeah, that was correct.
Yeah, and a lovely one at that. Of course, we are not in Spain. I'll make that absolutely clear. A3 played by Kramnik. Let's go there. Well,
but
he's
now,
got
I think this is headed towards a draw now. Ajestein found a way to defend a2. It's just queen a7, chopping off that pawn, I believe. And, well, a move to unpin like king g8 could maybe be contemplated. It's hard to believe that
just queen a7, right?
Equal as well. Yeah, we're thinking about bishop e5, fe, queen f4 check, but even that just goes somewhere with the king, and I believe black is no more than a draw.
Queen f4, king h1.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. And here,
These
if you go
pawns,
queen b2, it's going
each other out.
e6.
Yeah, e6, a2. And for example, queen f7 check. Oh no!
Oh, I am. I tell you, I am.
Did you bungle it?
I can bungle these. Oh yeah, I'm happy. I know I'd probably have played that in a game. E6, A2.
Well, let's continue that line just to be clear.
Yeah. Okay. So
King
here,
H8.
I wanted to go check.
Check. King H7.
But then you block with the
queen
queen.
F7, Queen G7, and at E7 here, the problem is Queen E5 check, and G3 Queen E2 check, and Black would Queen would check, which would be very bad news.
Yeah.
So care is required even here, but
Right till
I
the
think
end.
what was the line we had?
King G8,
King
Queen
G8,
A7.
Takes, Queen F4,
Queen F4, King
G1.
H1.
Yeah, let's see.
And if, well, okay, take on
Well,
E5.
take is a draw Queen.
So, Queen check, Queen B2. This looks like the most
White has a
testing.
lot of checks, right?
Yeah, you can start with check. Ah, you can
D5.
check here. And
It's just a draw.
too many checks.
Too many.
Check yourself. Right?
You can't check yourself in chess, which is really a problem.
I've actually checked myself before.
Have you checked yourself into?
I actually, yeah, I checkmated myself once.
King H8 has been played by Kramnik.
Same
Similar idea. And yeah, Queen A7, very possible. I guess Bishop D6 or move like that, also very possible.
Nah, he's never going to play Bishop D6.
He could though. Couldn't
No,
he?
Queen A8.
Queen A8, yeah. Yeah, I think he doesn't want to allow that. You're
No,
right.
no, he doesn't. He's just going to put
Queen
the queen.
A7, yeah. It's
You got to put the queen behind the pawn.
well-known
and-
rule. Put your queen behind past pawn.
But he has only got 4 minutes for 5 moves, so it's all about nerves. He's got to just keep it together. He's got one more decent move to find, and then he'll be all right on the night.
Yeah, he's gonna be fine, I think.
He is. You're a big Adjestein fan, aren't you? That's why you backed him to lose every game so far, right?
Yeah, I should stop doing that, but no, you can't help but being impressed the way he's handled this tournament so far.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that one. But in the
Fabiano Caruana has played E4, also interesting move,
very interesting.
changing the structure, trying to claim that E4 square for his pieces.
Wow.
Really a good move, actually. I like
Yeah?
it.
But if Bishop E6, are you
Well,
sure?
then you take on F5.
Okay, and
Yeah, with these, there's some weaknesses. Yeah, you have the D4 square, but let's say Rook F1. I don't know, it feels a bit loose, the black position.
I think the white position feels a bit loose.
Both feel a little loose.
Loosey-goosey. I don't like the fact that... Yeah, here, I don't like he takes F5.
I think that's gotta be the idea. You can't allow F4.
Really?
If black gets in F4, I think it's better.
I wanted to go F4.
Ah, you want to go F4 yourself? Ah, okay.
Is that
Does
just a
that work?
terrible move? I just lose a pawn?
Sure, if you're losing a pawn. No, this looks bad, right?
Yeah, no,
Even EF or GF. I'm not sure
I'm
what's
going,
the way
I'm
to
going a
proceed,
bit
but yeah,
mad.
this doesn't look
So
like
you
it's
think he's
working.
going to go here? You think he's going to take?
Yeah, and play Rook. Some
And
Rook to
Rook
E1, I'm not
F1,
sure.
and
Maybe
after-
Rook D-E1 even, because you might want to keep an eye on F2.
Right.
And,
And if you go here?
I don't know, chop it off.
Yeah, really?
Maybe black is alright, I'm not that sure, but Rook E3, E5 is very weak. The black king is a little loose. I don't know, I think I prefer white.
Really? I just see that knight on D4 and prefer black immediately. How strange.
Well, you could be right as well.
I'm not sure I'm right. In fact, I know I'm not right. But how bit of an odd one. Bit of an odd one there. What's the time situation in kayaking Rishchuk? Oh, but I beg your pardon, not in Caruana at Giri. Well, Caruana's only got 6 minutes left for 17 moves. I'm slightly. What did I go for here?
I have no idea.
I went for a white win, right?
In Karanagiri, I think you did, yeah.
And
yeah,
you went for
I
a
got
draw.
a draw, yeah.
Oh,
He did
it's-
take on F5, yeah.
Yeah, he did take on F5.
Karana a little short on time, so everything to play for, but Anish Giri having half an hour to Caruana's 7 minutes here must be significant because the position is so complicated still. Also interesting to see how Giri wants to take back. Can we jump to the game still for a second?
Yeah.
How he wants to take back, because I was just wondering after knight f5, could you think about bishop takes c6, or is that crazy?
No, that's crazy.
I'm not sure. Queen c3. Take it. Queen c2. 94. 94 blundered the exchange. Apologies.
How many blunders would you say you make on a daily basis commentating? At least one, right? At least.
I think one. Yeah. Should be more, right? The
Right.
more lines we talk about, the more.
To be honest, our job is a lot harder than the players.
Yes, much
Much
harder.
more. I mean,
we got a lot more on the line.
We
Like,
got-
if they lose a game, okay, they have one the next day.
We've
we
got
get
pride.
a prediction wrong, like we'll be mocked for minutes on Twitter. So
you think he's joking? He's not.
I was joking. Simon Akhterstein has played Queen A4.
Yeah.
Pretty much same idea. He also wants to cover the F4 square, not allowing Bishop E5, Queen F4. Looks fine. It does relinquish the 7th rank, so Black can still try to play Queen E7, King H7, take it from there. Has to be a draw, but I'm scared of past A pawns. What are you doing? Queen A8. Nah, it has to be a draw, really.
He played H5.
H5.
Yeah.
What's the point of that move?
Well, I think part of his plan is that Seaman has only got a few seconds left.
Oh, he wants to make.
He's
it
got a minute left for
non-committal
4
move.
moves, so he's just trying to put him under pressure.
Also in the future, maybe H4 could come in handy, fixing this pawn on F4 as a bit of a weakness and not allowing the white king to get.
So you
to
think he'll
G3.
play G3 here?
I don't think
No,
so.
but then you
don't
can
wanna
take
open
and
the-
Queen F2.
You don't want to open this.
So you think he'll go H4? Oh, he played Queen A7.
Queen A7, I like that move. I think that's best. And yeah, Bishop E5, Fe, Queen F4. It still will lead to a draw. Kramnik, he probably has to take on E5, right? There
Yeah.
is Bishop takes G7
Right.
as a threat.
No, he has to take on E5.
Yeah.
So
no,
that gets him
another
one
good
move quicker.
So
to-
Bishop E5, Fe, and well, he could play something like H4, but yeah, White just goes E6, and the pawns will always be exchanged
Yeah.
for one another. So this is going to be a draw, I believe.
We've been saying that for a while, haven't we? But
Yeah, but we still believe so.
in Seaman we trust. In the Karyakin game, it
is that?
seems like Karyakin is
He
probing.
gets his rook around, you know.
What's my rook doing on H1 now?
Not very much, and it would need help from the troops. But one big question is, can I go B3 and try to queen my B pawn while Karyakin is jumping around? Here's a cute line. Rook A7, which makes sense. B2. Rook takes D7 and rook to C1. Now, the knight can't really move because of rook D1 check followed by rook takes D3. And how does white defend? He can go rook B8 or yeah, rook B7 earlier.
And this is,
This is fine for white.
yeah, too many pawns.
2 pawns, very
Wow.
stable position. Probably black still has a draw by checking, but no more than that.
Wow.
So Sergei Karyakin showing once again, we've seen this a lot during Shamkir and also during the candidates. He's a great defender. He will get into strange positions, but he has been very, very resilient from these. Also against Seaman Akhterstein, he was in trouble, held that position. He did lose the game. Whom did he lose to? He lost in the first round in this tournament, right?
Who's that?
Karyakin.
Karyakin.
Whom did he lose to? Time flies when you're out talking about these games.
Yeah, my mind has gone blank, really.
Tweet us, whom did Sergei Karyakin... No, we can look that up. Give me 1 minute.
We can look it up. I just
what's happening with you?
I don't know.
Have you got too much sun?
I've had a total blackout, ladies and gentlemen. Sergei Karyakin lost. Was it the second round?
Probably was the second round.
Yeah, he lost to Aronian.
Ah, that is correct. He did lose with black against Levan Aronian, this Queen's Indian game. And yeah, we're struggling on the show. What's going on?
Just completely suffered a blackout.
Are
Sravan.
you okay?
No, I
Can
don't
we
think
get
so.
you something?
Yeah.
Sam Thompson is saying, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Quoting Ice Cube and Lawrence Trent. He thinks that's the title of your first chess book.
I've been asked to write a few books. I always turn them down, unfortunately.
Why?
I can't write.
Okay,
Not as in, like, I haven't learned how to write letters or emails.
you did learn that.
I learned that. I'm just a better
Do you
orator.
struggle with a blank page?
I do, actually, yeah. I used to be able to write decent essays when I was at university, but for some reason nowadays I just can't put two words together.
Yeah. I enjoy writing. Like, people normally don't enjoy my writing, but my mom was always telling me, yeah, and the most important thing is that you like it, you know? So
Oh,
I quite like it.
your mum was very supportive, wasn't she?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're at a bit of a standstill in the action, but
Mexican standoff. But I'm
he
worried.
took on e5. He took.
Only move. F
Only
takes
move.
E. And I'm not sure he will
And
find
check.
another way to keep the game going.
And
Queen
he will
F4,
go
King
king-
G1 or King H1. He could
King
still
H-
try this. Queen C1,
C1,
Queen B2.
I played Queen B4 very quickly.
very quickly. And after E6, I think he's got nothing.
It's a bluff.
Well, there's Queen B1, King H2, A2, but White always has his own trump going E7. And yeah, this is not a good idea because of E8, Queen or Rook. Checkmate.
Have you ever done that, Jan?
I've done
Underpromoted you horrible
Just
man.
to be
right?
annoying.
And he
I
did
think
play
everybody's
E6.
done that.
I don't think I've done that.
No, this is just going to be a draw. He's just probing for the last. He
Posturing.
could go Queen E1,
Posturing.
Queen E5, but no. Simon Aktestein, once again, comfortably holding his own.
And
against
made
that
move
world
40 as well.
Elite. Elite? Elite?
Elite.
Elite.
Yeah. No, he's done well, and thank you, Seaman, once again for potentially funding another
Yeah,
meal of
Why
mine.
will I
I
stop
appreciate
betting
it.
against Simon
Right, you
Aktestein?
said today is the last day, right? I mean,
No, not against you, but against Seaman. Like,
oh, not against me. Oh, you're looking for revenge.
no. If I lose today, yeah, I will have a
That would've
talk
been-
with my sponsor and like.
That would have been 4 dinners down.
It is pretty sick.
I mean, that's a lot of dinners, right there. I'm happy about it.
There you are.
I know. Right, in the other games, let's have a look. Kayaking Grishchuk. Grishchuk bumbling a bit. Bumbling and stumbling and mumbling.
Bungling, right?
Bungling, yeah. Bumbling doesn't mean anything. Even the word bungle, I'm not even sure if it's a bona fide
I'm sure it's
verb.
in the Urban Dictionary. That's
Oh,
that's
no,
my
it is.
source for
It is.
learning.
Carrying out a task clumsily or incompetently.
It's the way we commentate, right?
We do bungle our way through. There's also Bungle from Rainbow. Did you ever watch Rainbow?
I've seen a rainbow.
Zippy and Bungle?
Oh, is that a kids' TV show?
Yeah, Zippy.
No, I
this
haven't
is
heard of that.
Zippy
Okay.
and Bungle. And it was in the 70s. And,
How do you know about it?
I used to watch Rainbow. It was still around when I was... It was around when I was a real young kid.
Okay.
And I used to...
No,
well,
I've had a tough childhood. We had Sesame
Maybe
Street.
we can get Zippy... Maybe we can get a picture of Bungle. This is basically what Bungle looks like. Okay. Can we get an image of
looks like he
Bungle,
bungles
please?
to death.
Yeah. An image, if you, producer, can Google Bungle. He looks like a little bear. Bungle from Rainbow. The show was Rainbow.
So cute.
Yeah. Zippy and Bungle.
Some early
Zippy and George.
inspirations.
Zippy and George, was it? Yeah.
No, we didn't have any of those. I had a very tough childhood, as you can
Did you?
imagine.
Yeah, I bet.
We had Sesame Street, but I was only
Sesame Street was
allowed
great.
to watch one show per week.
Oh no!
So I could choose. One time I chose, we had this thing called the Sandman, do you know that?
I don't know.
Sandmännchen? Maybe it's not translated Sandman. It only takes 5 minutes. So once I took that as my weekly show and it was done after 5 minutes, I had to wait for the next.
What do you mean,
week.
like a highlight show, right?
No, it's some stuff to put little kids to sleep. It was quite dull. I never made that mistake
All right.
again. So no, we didn't have Zippy and Bungle.
Okay, well, it looks like the producer's getting, for all of you guys...
You think he's gonna bungle putting up
I'm not sure
Bungle?
what
I
he's-
think he's
know,
bungling it.
I think he's bum. We'll wait for the bungle. Then thank you, producer. We'll wait for that. In the meantime,
We have
let's
some
have a
moves.
look. Kayaking.
They're going down that road.
No, he's
I think this is gonna happen. This B2, Rook D7, Rook C1.
Well, it might end in a draw. We might have one result. That's
Right. That would be exciting if I got one result
Fantastic.
correct. But I really thought Grishuk was gonna win that
So
after
did I.
he got here.
I mean, you have to pretty much go B2. It's
Rook D7,
Rook
Rook
D7,
C1.
Rook C. Oh, not there.
No, probably not there.
Rook C1.
And Rook B7 and
Rook
just
B7
Egalité, Fraternité.
takes.
Yeah, and here. Well,
They're probably
Right.
just going to repeat, right? They'll just repeat. Yeah.
I think that's a very likely outcome. But no, he played Rook D8.
Oh my goodness! He played Rook D8.
He
Now
keeps going.
he's trying to lose the game, is he? After
I'm
Rook,
not sure. Rook B7.
Rook B7, and what's his idea?
Maybe Rook 8. Or Bishop A4. Can you do Bishop A4?
Rook B4. Oh, you can take on E7 as well.
You can take, but it looks a bit risky to take. Rook B8.
Oh my goodness!
You're not scared? B2?
I'm very scared. I'm looking at it and wishing I'd never, you know. Yeah.
Could get messy at the very least.
Wow, Rook D8. I have to admit, I missed that one. What about Bishop C4?
B2.
D6 check.
Just a check. King of 8. Oh, yeah, probably King of 8. Well,
Well,
if you don't
I
take
can-
on E7
well,
first,
let me
I can
see.
take your
Let me
pawn
see.
now.
Oh, but now I'm managing to bungle this, aren't I? Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah. I understand.
No,
The
I'm-
rook is coming
No,
to C1.
I'm making a hash of that. Rook D8. There was a draw, by the way, in Adjestein Gramnik. Never bet against Simon
Hats off
Adjestein.
to Simon Achterstein once again. Very solid performance. Not that ambitious today, has to be said. He went for this D5 in the opening, which in a way is a draw for because it leads to a symmetrical structure, but clearly good enough. Oh, and Peter Svidler is rightly complaining about my Facebook predictions. I did predict him losing to Levon Aronian, and he is calling me out for it on Facebook. Rightly so. Apologies, Peter. After having jinxed you so often in the past, I was going with reverse jinxing, and it looks like it worked.
It
I
did
will
work.
predict that he's
He's
going to
gonna
lose every game, from
game,
now
right?
on.
That's what I
He
think.
knows we're rooting for him
I-
here at the Chess24 headquarters.
And he said, you know what, Lawrence, before the tournament, he said to me, he messaged me, he said, I'm feeling so good about my chess. Lump it all on me. So
Did he say that?
I went down, no. I was going to let the story
Doesn't
go.
sound like
no,
him.
it doesn't sound like him at all. I was going to lump the whole shebang on him, but I didn't in the end. Rightly so, because Peter, well, he can still win the tournament. Let's not count him out.
Or maybe, which is more likely, he's not complaining that I bet against him. He's complaining that we're torturing the viewers by giving away a Gravity DVD. Peter, excellent movie taste. He's my main source for.
Does
any
he
pop
hate
culture
Gravity
stuff.
as well?
He must hate Gravity. I don't think he's seen it. He's having some strange ideas recently. He doesn't want to watch The Wolf of Wall Street because someone told him it's not good. It's a great movie.
It's a great
so
movie.
He's very wrong there.
Talking about Gravity, let's get back down to earth and look at the games. How about that? You happy with that?
I'm so thrilled with your
Transition.
transition defense.
The
Yeah.
transition defence. That's what it could be an opening. We've got this. Rook b7, rook a8, and
What's going on? Rook b3, rook a2 is the point, I'm guessing.
rook a2.
Knight c2, bishop a4.
Solid. Check. Kein Problem. Oh. What's going on? Oh, we've lost a few moves. That's
Oh,
irritating.
they'll be back in a
Let's
second.
just quickly flick to the Caruana Giri game. We've had a few moves. After he did play your rook d1. Jan, you
He is
are
a quality player.
he is a quality player. Rook d1, rook fd8. Put the bishop on e4.
Right.
Knight fe7.
That's a bit intriguing, right? Why wouldn't Anish go knight to d4?
I don't understand anything. Pretentious. That's it. No, I'm only
More
joking.
potential
No,
maneuvering.
Anish has not played pretentiously at all today. But I don't know about knight fe7. He just wants to keep pieces on. f3, bishop f5, queen c2. I just don't understand anything.
I think Fabiano, well, he's just in slightly speeding up as well. He has to make moves pretty quickly now because he is in time trouble.
He's only got 3 minutes for 11 moves. So
Right.
queen c2, rook d7, knight c4.
I think he's done quite well in his maneuvering phase. He avoided getting a knight put on d4, or Anish chose not to put it there. Got the c4 square for his knight. He's got d3 covered at the moment. I quite like his position. Could once again revisit queen to b2, putting some pressure on b7 and e5. But yeah, only 3 minutes left to Anish's 20. We'll see. But we haven't seen him blunder much in time
No.
trial, right? He's not a big blundermeister like
Me or
we
you.
are.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So knight c4. So what's Anish going to do here? What's going through his mind, Jan? It's not easy to make moves here, is it?
Well,
Any old
he
iron.
could-
Knight d5.
could
Oh no, that would
consider-
lose a bishop.
could consider like breaking the chains on the queen side and going b5 maybe. It's a bit committal as well because you create a lot of new weaknesses along the c file, and yeah, like this line you're showing. Yeah, I don't think you want to go for this. Now you're hurting from having the pawn on g5, for example. Could still be alright, but it does look very tough to go for this. So yeah, it's not so easy to make a move really. Because f3 also clever, it stops
This
his
has happened, yeah.
g4.
B5 was
he did
played.
go b5, okay.
There was takes. He whippersnappered that off. And now knight e3 probably is going to be played, right? Feels
f3 does look like a very
feels
natural
like
move,
I
yeah.
mean I think it's the move I'd play here.
I do agree.
Would you play it?
I think I'd probably play it.
You're a very strong player. When did you realise you were very strong? I mean, seriously, world class. I'm being serious. You are. You're
Never been a
2650.
world-class player.
You're a 2650 rated player
No.
who
way
hardly
lower
ever
than that.
loses.
26, 30 something.
Okay, but you've been 2650. So,
I've been there.
when did you start to realise that you really thought you could be an elite player like you are?
I've never considered myself an elite player. I've had the same level pretty much for 10 years. Like my rating has been very stable. I've had 2 years where I worked a lot on chess. The first one was the year after school. I was in the German army. They have this thing called a sporting company, or however you translate it, where you're basically staying at home and you're called a soldier, where you're supposed to work on chess and play chess tournaments. So that helped me quite a bit. And I was 1 year in Spain as an exchange student in Madrid. Didn't go to the university all that much, and that's the year where I went from, I don't know, 2550 to 2630 more or less. And I've stayed there ever since, but I've never realized it. I put in a lot of work, so I became a bit better in some years. A little less so over the last 10 years, unfortunately.
What can you do? Well, look at this.
You could work on chess. That's the
could
trick.
work.
What's going on here?
93 was played.
Yeah. When did you realize you can predict the moves of the world's best players?
It's a good question, really. Can I?
Not all the moves, but some of them, right?
Well, hopefully predict something.
But yeah, 93, bishop takes e4. It's just such a hard move to make because after d takes e4, you have these chronic weaknesses on f5 and d5 and the c file. Probably objectively nothing too bad has happened, but it feels like Fabiano has taken a bit of control over this game over the last couple moves.
In the Grishtuk game, look at this. Well, we did get that variation, yeah, with rook a8. Rook takes bishop check.
How did they get here?
C3. Well, one of the
rook takes e1, king b3, rook d2, I guess. Or if
yeah, you've always got
off,
this.
Yeah, if he snapped off the f2 pawn, then just rook e7.
Oh yeah.
This could end badly for black somehow. You're little.
He did it. He took on e7.
It's happening. Your rook f2, rook e7, rook e3 has been played. I'm not sure who's playing for win and why.
This is extremely scary. King c4.
I'm pretty sure
rook
he's trying
d2
to get to this bishop. Bishop b1, rook e1, and it would be trapped.
Yeah, but what about my D? What about
you
Derek?
Delroy, the deep
Delroy rolling up the board. I mean, that probably.
No, hang on. It takes first d7 and why is winning. Right?
That's what I mean.
So we have to go king f8 or a move like that to, after d6 to stop the bleeding.
My goodness.
But rook takes h7, let's say. Delroy is still pretty powerful. Rook takes b1, there's still d7 winning, I believe. Because rook b8, you have rook h8 check. Maybe it's not winning, but it's pretty good for white.
Yeah, it's winning.
And yeah, some drama.
Oh, wow.
Let's check the times for a second.
The times are unbelievable. This is
time
really
control yet.
No, they're only on move 35.
Grishuk has 45 seconds, as we're accustomed to seeing him at this point. Sergei Karyakin has all the time in the world. Not all the time in the world, but he has 16 minutes. He can calculate here what he wants to do.
We have
King c3 or king c4 come to mind. Could you go d6 immediately, just out of curiosity?
Curiosity killed the
rook
cat.
d3, king c4. Oh no, you have rook fd2,
Rook fd2,
nice move. And if d7, rook d4.
And that's good night.
That's murder she wrote.
Murder she wrote. In the Karana game, queen b2 was played. He played bishop e6.
Oh, he didn't take yet.
He didn't take.
Fair enough. Queen b2, I really like that move too, keeping an eye on e5 and b6.
b5 played.
b5, rook c1, headed for c5 and attacking c6. I think Anish, even though he has a lot more time, he's getting a bit...
Is he getting a bit hot under the... Is he getting a bit...
He's getting outmaneuvered a little bit in this phase, it feels like.
Yeah, could very well be.
Maybe he was over-optimistic because of Fabiano's time trouble that he wanted to keep the position complicated, keeping the pieces on the board.
He's playing well, Fabiano. He's playing.
No, he's a great player.
Do you
no
really,
more arguing that, right?
Do you really just think he's the next challenger, the next big challenger?
So hard to say. I still secretly hope a little bit that Levon Aronian is still the next big challenger, because I'm such a big fan of Levon, who's still very much in his prime and number 2 in the world. But the stuff Caruana has been done recently, it certainly looks like. And he's so young, right? How old is he? Like 21?
No, I think he was born.
No, he's a bit older. No. Can we look it up?
Yeah, I'll just get his exact age up for you right now. Caruana born 30th July 1990. It's nearly his birthday.
1992. So yeah, he's 22.
So young.
That's the amazing thing. You check all these guys, and they've been a member of the Super World Top for like 3, 4, in Carlsen's case, 7, 8 years, and they're like 22, 23.
Incredible.
Karyakin 24 maybe. Chess became a lot younger.
Yeah. Chess did become a lot younger. Let's see this out. Rook e3 played. This is getting serious. It's getting hot in here. So take off all of your pieces. This is getting really...
Wow.
This is...
Working in Nelly into a chess show.
I hate the fact you know so much American commercial rap.
What are you talking about? You quoted him, not me.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't know
here.
you'd know that.
A big student of US.
Bishop B1, Rook B2 played, but hold on a second. Hold on a second. What's going on after D6?
Lindo about to make his move. I think that's the line we were looking at. King F8, Rook takes H7, King E8 maybe, but the point is Rook takes B1, there's always D7.
You probably have to go King E8.
Yeah, but it could end badly.
I think he might lose.
He could... Karyakin could keep the bishop with Bishop D3 if he wanted to, right? Rook D2, trying to chase it down. Bishop F1, Rook F2. And now he can consider if he only has a move repetition or if he has something sick like this line. King to D6, that is beautiful. Unstoppable. Rook
Witness
H8.
the sickness.
Witness the fitness.
That's right. This could end badly.
And Grishuk, once again, we pointed this out earlier, he has absolutely no time to think.
15
He's amazing
seconds.
in time travel, but if you can't calculate, errors will
Oh, he
still
played
creep in.
D6, King F8. This has been played already. D6, King F8 played.
Yeah, no time for Grishuk.
Gotta take.
He's been bungling quite some positions
Yeah, it's
in his time travel in this tournament already. The game against Caruana, where it looked like he was the one who had winning chances, if anybody, which he lost on move 39. And today, once again, it looked like he was in the driver's seat and exchange up. Only question is if Karyakin could hang on. And now it does look like he could lose this. Rook takes H7.
It's going to happen as well, Rook takes H. Let's go to the other game, because that's also critical.
Very
They're down
critical.
to their last few.
Anish has been
Outplayed.
out-jumped as well, yeah.
He's been out.
What
Let's see
happened?
it after Rook
Rook
C1. Knight D4 was played, but this allowed... Well, you can take on D4. Rook C5.
I really like Rook C5. It's such a
Rook
nice square.
C8.
Now Knight takes D4. Nice timing. Rook C5, Knight E6 doesn't work.
So you got to take.
ED you take, and now the F5 square is available. You gotta take this, I guess.
Well, you can go Queen F6 as well.
Queen F6. Oh yeah, what happens then?
Queen F6 is tricky, but maybe I can open the F file with F4. And if you take, I just take your...
Wow, that's magic.
And
This is probably winning for white. This looks...
the Black
winning.
King
Black
is
King's too weak.
so weak. So Knight
I'm not
F5.
sure. F4 is a pretty sick move. I thought just Rook C2, but even that could be pleasant for white.
Yeah.
It's the problem with these G5 pushes, once again being kept in hindsight, but you never know when your king, how the game's going to develop, when your king might become weak. Such a position, such great control for white. No, this Karana dude, I think he's a pretty good player.
He's not bad. It's
He's
not winning.
Not a terrible player.
He's only got a minute left. It's not winning just yet. But.
I beat Karana when he was 16. You think he's going to be the strongest player I ever beat? Maybe he was 15 or 14.
But I think he was the strongest player at that point in time. I mean...
that could be true as well.
You got him when he was a 23-70. You know?
I should have tried to play Magnus when he was like 10 or something, where I still had a chance.
Yeah. I've beaten Magnus before.
I'm sure you have. What
Pool.
game?
Pool.
Ah, Pool.
Oh, I also bluffed him off a few rivers at poker.
You're a very all-round player, right? Like, it's not just chess with you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's he's not a bad little poker player, it's Magnus. Also probably helps the fact that money is totally, you know... Yeah,
You think he's making some money?
Yeah, I'd say he's probably got a few pound coins in the bank.
That is likely. Let's stop ignoring the Twitter sphere. Thanks
Yeah.
for tweeting us at hashtag C24Live. Barone is commenting, Wolf of Wall Street should have lasted at least half an hour less. I don't disagree, especially the last hour felt very much like a self-quotation of Goodfellas and could have been shorter, but I thought it was a very funny, very good movie.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, the tweets disappeared. What are you doing?
I've been sent a personal tweet by Mr. Jonathan Tisdall, Grandmaster Jonathan Tisdall.
Do you want to
imploring
read out
me
their personal tweets?
Yeah, saying that I've not learned to... Can you spell it out to me? How do I say his name? Mr. Adgerstein.
Actestein.
Oh, it's Adgerstein, is it?
I say Actestein, which is probably also not
Wrong,
how
right?
the Norwegians say it.
Please,
but
Mr. Tisdall, can you spell it to me phonetically? Well, not phonetically, but you know, spell it, write it as
phonetically.
Phonetically, but I'm sorry, I don't know how to say his name properly.
We'll work on that.
Agderstein. Agderstein.
Right.
I've been saying Agderstein.
Edgestein?
Agderstein. Goodness me.
No edge to
Agderstein.
Actestein.
Will do. Thank you, Mr. Tisdall. We appreciate your input here at Chess24. Right. Well, we're still waiting for Rook takes H7. We're still waiting for Giri's response.
Giri's in trouble. I think he's in serious trouble. He's contemplating what to do. I think he banked or he counted on Queen F6. But then both Rook C2 or F4 are pretty good moves. Stop doing that, please.
Okay.
We all know what you're doing here.
Okay. All right. Knight F5.
Queen F6, F4.
Queen F6, F4. But Rook C2.
Yeah, that's pretty annoying. But yeah, even the simple Rook C2.
Oh, okay.
pretty
That's
tough.
hardly end of days.
It's not end of days, but it's really unpleasant.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, Black's king. I said this, you moved your pawns up the board, it's, as soon as you play G5, it could come back to bite you in the bottom.
You did say that. Pawns never retreat. I remember as it was yesterday. Or was today, like 2 hours ago. What else is going on? Kayakin taking the time he still has.
Well, how long has he got?
Well, he's got like 15, well, probably by now 12, 13 minutes to calculate the lines. Well, Grishuk has no time, but he will, of
Kayakin's got
course...
7 minutes.
Down to 7 already, wow. Grishuk will, of course, try to use Kayakin's time as well. But Rook takes H7. This is very easy to calculate, right? Rook B1, D7, and you win a Rook. So you can play that quickly, and after King E8, have a thought there. Easier said than done, of course.
Of course.
I think he will take his time here.
And Grishuk has got 15 seconds for 2 moves.
Well, that's plenty to do it motorically, but he won't have much
not
thinking
sure.
time. So you don't think Grishuk can make 2 moves in 15
No,
seconds?
I'm sure he can make 2 moves in 15 seconds. I'm just not sure he's going to make the 2 right moves in 15 seconds. That's the difference.
Yeah, but I think
That's
he's
what
going to use his
separates
time
the men from the boys.
to calculate now, and he's probably going to figure out that after Rook H7... we're back to the other game, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Well, let's go over your line. So you're saying after Rook H7, just King E8.
I think that's the only move, because Rook B1, D7 looks like it's winning, so you have to go King E8. I don't think that would take him long. And then Bishop D3. Well, there's some time for a decision. Rook D2 is a move, King D8, Rook G2. But they might all be bad. It might be too late. He might have blown it, which would really be heartbreak. I mean, he was, after this Knight D3 trick, he was
insane.
Clearly the one in
I
the
think
driver's
B5.
seat.
I think B5 was the start of his beginning of the downfall. In the other game,
Nice.
what about just taking this off? Let's just play simple chess.
Keep it real. I don't know. I just don't like Black's position.
You don't like this knight, do you?
Yeah, and the king mainly. Like here, F4 or Rook C2, there's so many tempting moves.
Queen E5
And
played.
E5, asking for F4 with tempo. What is that about?
Sure.
F4 here, what's his point?
Well, how long has... Let's just take another check. How long has our friend got with the white pieces? 35 seconds.
There's not a lot
He's
of
played
time.
F4.
He played F4, yeah.
I
That's
mean-
really asking for.
You got to take.
Yeah, Rook takes.
And that's move 40 made. Good practical
Mate
decision.
move 40.
Yeah.
He's better.
And he's better. He's outplayed.
Played, especially in time travel, he outplayed
Yeah.
him. Like
Yeah.
it was a maneuvering back and forth battle, but ever since he's down on time, he's been playing excellently.
Yeah, and he's made move 40. That's a relief to him.
Both these guys, by the way, we haven't mentioned that, share the same coach, so it's always interesting when they play against each other. Both are students of Vladimir Chuchilov, probably the best known chess trainer for the top players out there nowadays. And it's a bit tricky because they also kind of share the same opening files and opening analysis, both training with Chuchilov. So when they play against each other, they have to be very careful. What does the other know about me and what files does he have? So maybe that's one of the reasons they went for this slow maneuvering opening, because they know each other so well.
Let's quickly go back to the kayaking game and look at this, what happened. After d6, king f8, he played bishop d3 straight away.
Bishop d3 immediately.
Rook d2, bishop f1, and now here, move forward, he only had his flag hanging, had to decide between rook e1 and rook a3. Looks like he chose the wrong move. Looked like rook e1 was actually very, very strong. Well, I say that, it's very difficult to analyse, but rook a3 was played, and now it looks as though...
is the point that he wants to go rook a4 check and rook takes d4.
That would be a dream.
The d pawn.
You have to go e5.
e5, and now rook a4 check. King... Somewhere rook takes d4. Complicated stuff.
Me.
But this is...
What's going on here?
Computer tells us it's winning, but from afar, not easy to see that trick. It's really very unfortunate, actually, if we go back to that position.
Yeah.
e5, rook a4, king c3, rook d4. See this from afar is extremely tricky.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Rook f7, king e8 runs into bishop b5, king g8, rook f6, king g7, e7, for example. And after rook f6, there's just no defense.
There's no defense against e7.
That's really weird, because this position, normally black would always be fine. You would have like a move like rook e1 and you'd be fine, or any other moves. It's just a lot of strange factors coming together here.
Unbelievable.
So, of course, Kayakin very capable of finding that. They've made the time control.
Yeah.
So I believe they will take their time. Sam Thompson is asking.
Yeah. Do you think Grishuk's chronic time trouble is unprofessional, or is Achilles' heel?
Well, Grishuk has talked about this plenty himself. He does consider it a weakness and he's not proud of it. But it's tough to say about the world number 3. Like, he's such an idiot maneuvering his time. Clearly, it kind of works for him. And I believe he's mentioned that he needs the time trouble to pay attention, get his adrenaline flowing. That's one reason why he often does it. I don't know, it clearly works for him in a way, but I do believe that even if you're Grishuk, or anybody really with limited time, you do make more mistakes. So it is a weakness, he said that much himself, but he's clearly compensating it pretty well normally. But still, to lose this game today, I think
that would
really
be terrible.
It would be very tough if that happened.
Well, I think now we've been running for about an hour and a half in this segment, so it would be good for us to just go for a quick breather. They've reached time control. 2 games still ongoing. 2 games very unclear. Still all 3 results possible, I would say, in those games. Although Karyakin looks like he's out of the woods, probably got a winning position. Very tricky line. Caruana, slightly better against Giri. We're not going to go anywhere, neither will you. In the break, why don't you go and play some blitz on the server? There's the Play Now button you can see right up there. Just click on Play Now and you can play a few blitz games. We'll be gone for about 10 minutes and we'll be back with Phase 2 of today's play. So see you in a few minutes. Hello and welcome back to live coverage of Norway Chess. This is round 4, and of course you're watching it on the only place to be, here on the MIC. With me is Jan, G-U-S-T-I-G-M. Didn't work.
Yeah, you almost
couldn't find it. I really wanted a freestyle. What ended in
was
E?
Beautiful.
Gusti, G-M Gusti. Shh, that's why I'll never make it as a rapper. You've got to be able to do that, boom, on the spot. You know,
otherwise you can get there still.
In those rap battles, you lose, and then you get, shot up or whatever it is.
Are there famous British white rappers?
White rappers, yeah, we've got a few, but they're not like Eminem or anything like that. But we've got a few rappers that are most of them aren't white, I would say. Right. But is there a famous white German rapper?
There's a bunch of them, but they tend to rap in German, so they're not famous like outside the country.
Right.
Is Lupe Fiasco English? British.
Sounds
I
Italian.
really enjoy Lupe Fiasco.
Sounds Italian,
No, I'm pretty sure he's not Italian.
but it is Italian. Yeah, he's not
I
British.
think he might be English.
He might be using. I've never heard of Lupe Fiasco. Sounds like talking about a fiasco. What has Alexander Grishchuk done to his position? That is a fiasco.
This is the position they have on the board. King b4 has been played by Mr. Karyakin, which looks like a pretty strong move as well. He's clearing the c4 square for his bishop. Plausible line would be something like rook a1, bishop to c4, rook takes d4, king to c5, and black is in very serious trouble. Rook a d1 would be met by bishop d5, and this would be game over. This pawn can't be stopped anymore. Like rook f7, d7, there's
anything.
Let's show a line. Let's rook d2, rook f7, king e8, d7, king d8, king d6, and we have similar problems like the ones we've seen earlier.
I got 99 problems, but checkmate ain't one.
I think it's the main problem Grishuk has in this position.
Oh,
I'm not
right,
sure if
sorry.
he has 99, but
That's
he
what-
certainly has a checkmate problem.
He does have a checkmate problem.
So king b4, it's his turn to think. He will take a lot of time here, I would assume, looking for an escape. But it might be too late. Could also go passive with rook a8.
But you go passive, and maybe it's the only way.
Yeah, but even this, like bishop c4, rook d4, king c5, or rook h7, maybe even stronger, threatening to win that rook. No, he's in trouble. He's in real big trouble. Someone please call 911.
Wycliffe Sean.
I don't know. It's some song. Tell them I just got shut down.
It's Wycliffe Sean.
Macy Gray?
With Wycliffe Sean.
Okay.
Trust
I like Macy Gray.
Do you?
Yeah.
How many times have you met her?
I've never met her,
right.
but I've studied
like
her
her music?
work. I like her music.
What is it about a woman who sounds like she's having a fit you like?
She sounds like what?
She's having a fit all the time.
Yeah, it's nice, right?
You like it? It's a kind of weird sound she's got. What,
It is a
what
very
happened
weird
to her?
sound.
She just disappeared. She's just not popular anymore. Did she get old?
I don't know what she's up to, but yeah, I haven't heard new stuff for a while.
Maybe-
But she's probably been around for a
Maybe
while.
she got mistaken for a cat and got put in a home. So
That is the most likely scenario.
anybody who likes Macy Gray, please let me know. I don't mind some of her songs.
I heard yesterday that on the Isle of Man, where they have a chess tournament, which you might be attending, I think.
I will be attending.
Anyway, the point is they have cats without tails. It's the main attraction of the Isle of Man.
That's right.
That
yeah.
was shocking. And they can swim in the water.
That's right. They're basically humans.
They're
They-
human cats without tails.
No, they're cats, but they're basically humans. They can make a good steak as well.
It's like in the musical Cats, where they say they're cats, but they're really humans dressed as cats.
Right. No, they're actually cats.
But they can cook.
No, I'm talking about in the musical. They're not
in the
humans.
musical. Ah,
They're not
okay. They're
humans.
just giant cats.
They're just giant cats that look like humans.
I find that hard to believe, but this cats without tails is really
Yeah, it's
shocking.
amazing. Why don't you come along?
I might
like
come
it.
along. I didn't know about this cats without tails, but now it has a USP, as we business people say, unique selling point to go to Isle of Man, like cats without tails.
They're called Manx. The
Manx?
people-
Ooh,
The people
looks-
from the Isle
just
of
looks
Man.
wrong.
A cat without a tail does look wrong.
I was watching this show called Orphan Black, which was highly recommended to me. I didn't think it was that good, first of all, but it did have a guy who had a tail, like was about screwing around with evolution and the what.
He actually had a tail?
He had a tail in the show, man with a tail.
Not
It was
an
very
actual
interesting.
tail.
I think it was an actual tail.
How did he grow a tail?
It was genetically altered.
He was genetically altered.
Yeah, but it's a TV show. It might have been fiction. The lines are so blurry nowadays.
Would you like a tail?
Is 24 real or not? No, I don't think a tail is all that useful.
No, probably not. We used to have a tail. That's why we've got the tail bone. I mean, humans before somehow.
Is that
in our-
true?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, we used to have a tail. It's just, yeah, we probably. But oh my goodness,
Is that why
I'm not
some
sure we should
suits
put that
are called?
Let's
No.
Let's not put that one up.
No.
Good idea though.
Some suits
Thank
are
you.
called tailored fit. Is that why? That's why?
No, it's nothing to do with that.
Okay.
Tailor, no. But
Tailor
we
has
used-
nothing to do with the tail?
Well, maybe
know.
it does. I mean, if you would know.
Maybe he was responsible for getting rid of the tail in the old days, so he could fit your suit.
What we do have, though, is Alexander Grishchuk. He's bungled the situation, and just to illustrate what a bungle looks like, I was trying to find a definition in the dictionary, but instead I found the following photo, and feel like that really explains what is going on here. Now,
This explains a lot. This is the TV show you grew up watching, right?
I was more a Thomas the Tank Engine kind of kid, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Ah, yeah, I was watching those as well.
Yeah,
I had the Nintendo game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
but
Beautiful game.
this one here, you've got Bungle in the middle. Now, if you look closely, that actually looks like Alexander. No, it doesn't look like Alexander, but you can imagine he's got his hands on his head because he knows he's gone
He's
wrong.
bungled it.
And on the right-hand side there, on the orange creature, that's Zippy, and George is the other side.
What kind of animal is Zippy?
That's a good question. Do you know what? I never thought of that. Who the hell?
A very flamboyant hippopotamus? Is that what he's doing?
Zippy is... my goodness, I actually never... I think he's... I'm not sure, actually. But he's just a puppet, is he?
Yeah, whatever. It looks like he's based on some
It's
animal,
unclear
right?
what kind of creature.
Zippy bears no obvious resemblance to any real animal. Shocking.
Zippy is, nobody knows what Zippy is. Maybe we could get Zippy on the show.
I think we probably could get him on the show.
Actually, I'm not sure if he's around anymore. Oh no, he died. Roy Skelton died a few years
Is it
ago.
a real person? Wasn't it an actor impersonating Zippy, putting on a costume, maybe?
Yeah, but
like
he
in
died.
Cats.
Roy Skelton died in 2011.
What do you mind wearing a Zippy
I'd
costume
love
for
to
tomorrow?
I'd wear a bungle costume in general.
All right.
If you can get
We
me.
have some wigs lying right there. We could start with those, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe not. Like
We'll sort that one out. Rook
So-
A1 played by Grishchuk, but we've already seen that this is really
Bishop
bad
C1,
news.
Bishop C4 is a very strong
is
move,
just
giving shelter to the king from checks. Rook B2 check could be tried, but then I think the king goes back to C3, right? Yeah, that looks very strong. No, Grishchuk has... Are we
Problems.
using bungled for everything now? Has bungled it.
He's bungled it. I like it. It's a good word.
Okay.
What else can
Karana has, of course, also made the time control, so things have slowed down there. Let's go over the last couple moves very briefly. F4, we've seen this, Rook F4, Knight E7. Anish Giri did a good job to avoid immediate collapse at some point,
Yeah.
looked like it. Knight H4 has been played. He could also take on E7, of course, but he decided to keep the horse as a part of the force. I'm a horrible rhymer.
That was
I shouldn't
nice.
even try.
That was good.
Okay, Queen C5 and Queen F2. Doesn't want any funny Queen C3 business hitting the Queen.
It does look scary, doesn't it?
It does look very scary. Queen C1 check, King G2. You need nerves of steel to not panic here. Rook F8 followed by Queen F6 is threatened. Knight to D5. Let's see if there's a mate. It's probably a mate, but King G8?
Amazing, isn't it? You're just getting away with this.
I'm
probably
sure.
losing with white here.
Some tricks like Rook G4 check or some crazy stuff. If Bishop takes D5. Well, there's no mate, King F8.
You can take here.
I can take, but I can take D5. Oh! Can I give some checks first?
Goodness me. So what are you saying? You're saying Queen C1 check, Knight D5. You're just very strong. Wow, you're very strong. You're very strong. Rook G4 check. Takes.
Let's take here.
Takes.
Queen G5, that was Queen G5.
Ah, Queen
But in this move order, of course, after Rook takes D5, White can go Queen takes D5 with a pawn up.
Ah. But things are far from clear even here.
Things are... Wow, you're really getting to the rhyming game. things are far from clear even here.
Oh, I didn't even realise I did it.
I think that's when you become a natural. No, but all of this, we just confirmed the line with the computer. The computer would survive, but over the board,
I would
this
take
battery
white.
on the queens on the F file looks extremely scary.
Would you
White
take
is
white?
not. I would, of course, take white.
Mm.
Then again, maybe the situation is so desperate that Anish is forced to go for that line, which sometimes makes it easier. But no, I don't know. I'd certainly take white in a heartbeat. And Alexander Grishuk, poor guy, is really, really probably hating life right now, having been an exchange up and looked like he was very much the one on the driver's seat. Now it feels like he's probably lost, really. This battery of pawn on e7, rook on e7, pawn on d6, bishop on c4.
Strong, isn't
Even the king can join the action via c5. Rook takes h7, always there. Rook f7, check d7. Looks like it's just too much to handle.
Too much. There's just too much, isn't there?
Yeah, rook takes d4, the most obvious move, just king c5.
Nice move. Getting out of the
And
pin.
really defending d6, getting off the pin, attacking the rook, rook d1, bishop d5, or yeah, first check maybe more precise. Rook takes f6. It's too much. Bishop b5, threatening mate.
It's gone, isn't
Looks like, yeah.
it? Gone.
Like there's
Poor
no-
old Alexander. That's the second
way
time.
out.
The second time this tournament. He may have lost
It's
again.
time trouble. Well, but here wasn't so much a time trouble. It got a bit out of hand way earlier. You were very critical of the move 22 b5.
I wonder if
already.
he'll be critical of it as well. I'll be keen to.
Well, all of this stuff still fine, but rook c5 now, all of a sudden they were playing for 3 results because white activated his rook, has this pawn mass in the center, of course. Grishuk went for complications, trying to simplify a bit as well. Rook a7. Yeah, he could have forced a draw with b2, for example. Rook takes d7, rook c1. And white has nothing better than rook b7, rook he1, rook b2. And the game would end in a draw after, let's say, rook d1 check, king c3, rook c1. Or maybe even easier, rook d1 check. Pushing the king towards the king side. King e2, rook e1, and king f3, rook c3 is trouble. So he could have forced a draw. He went for a win, rook d8, which is still justifiable decision, but something went wrong along the way. Rook takes d7, rook a2, king c3, rook takes e1, king takes b3. This move rook takes f2 was very risky, for example. Could maybe have kept white a bit busier with rook d2. And after bishop c4, he gains time to defend this vital e7 pawn. When rook takes f2, rook e7, rook e3, king c4, rook d2, bishop b1, rook b2. And now there was already this trick with d6. Computer still gives some saving lines all over the place here, rook e1, but all this, to calculate all this in time trouble, what works and what doesn't, is very, very tough. The difference here is that after d6 you have this safe with rook ed1. But yeah, Alexander Grishuk facing an uphill battle now. Fabiano Caruana looks, even though the computer says that black position is still holdable, looks like he's firmly in control against Anish Giri as well. If he were to win that game, he'd move on to 3.5 out of 4. Not easily accomplished in a field like this one.
Big score if he wins.
His one draw would be the black draw against Magnus Carlsen, where he was also winning at some point.
Crikey.
So he's doing fine.
What's the time situation? Let's have a look.
Well, they just made the time control. They both have plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
Caruana has 39 minutes to Giri's 46. Numbers are tough in English. Sometimes I have to think a little bit like 4, 6,
I still
46.
struggle with
Numbers
German
bigger than 100.
No, German numbers.
So do I.
25, 24,
25.
20,
Very nice.
77,
77.
You know, I know how to say the numbers.
So what do you struggle with?
92. Is that right?
What does that mean?
92?
Very good. Struggle with French numbers. They have these 99.
Yeah, you got to times everything. I mean, who really?
4 times 20, 19 is 99. It's too complicated. Don't make us calculate when saying numbers.
I mean, who really thought of that? I mean, you got to be...
Yeah, why did they never change the system, right?
Tweet from Tarjei Svensson, one of the important guys tweeting in the chess world. Right?
Absolutely.
Do you agree with Kramnik that Carlsen is still the guy to place a bet on to win Norway chess? Wow.
I don't know. If Caruana wins his game today on a 3.5 out of 4, I wouldn't bet against him anymore.
Actually, I looked at the odds before the game.
Nice.
Caruana was about 2.25 and Carlsen about 2.75 to win.
Yeah, makes sense. And if he extends his lead by another half point, no, I think he would be the favorite. But of course, it's too early to write off Magnus because he started slowly in earlier tournaments, and once he puts together a couple wins, it's going to be hard to stop. But Caruana has looked good in this tournament.
Indeed. Thank you. Keep your tweets coming, guys. We do like to hear from you. We are going to reveal as well if there is a winner. Who knows if there'll be a winner? Maybe
how are we going to find out?
We're going to have to go through all the people who sent us tweets.
We can't do that live on the air, right? No, so we're going to have to announce it tomorrow.
We'll announce it tomorrow. We will announce the winner tomorrow if there is a winner.
Do we have another horrible prize for tomorrow? Do you have anything in store?
I've got some old underwear, but that really is more of a punishment prize.
Not like Gravity, which really is the most beautiful prize you could ever win.
All right, well, look, we're just going to very quickly go to a break. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.